And now, the jerk list.
He's kind of a jerk.
Jerk.
Jerk!
I'm a jerk!
You're jerks! Jerk and double jerk!
Jerk! Jerk! Jerk! Jerk! Jerk! Jerk!
Jerk! Jerk! Jerk! Jerk! Jerk! 710 ESPN, Dave Dameshek, and that's right, jerks and creeps. The reckoning is at hand. The time is nigh. Let me just say this. Before I like to give this little disclaimer each time before I do the jerk list. If you feel angry at me because I assign to my marksman, my assassin, Dick Banks, who has the Han Solo Edition blaster, he gets you in the crosshairs, and you feel the sting of the blaster on your backside, I know your instinct is to be angry with me, but remember, I didn't do this to you. You did this to you. Let it begin! All right, first up, this is an easy one. On Monday, I was coming down on the Miami Dolphins for going so crazy about winning a game. They made what I thought were buffoons of themselves, behaving like that. These millionaire athletes celebrating like they'd won the national championship, the Super Bowl, World Series, and Stanley Cup all rolled into one. So we had Jimmy Cefalo, the play-by-play man for the Dolphins, on. And then I brought up how those 72 Dolphins, the undefeated Dolphins, are always popping champagne every year when other teams lose. And then he said, oh, well, that was only one time. That's misreported. That's bad journalism, he said. Bad journalism indeed. As a matter of fact, take a little listen to this.
That's a lie. You should know a little bit better to find out what your facts are before you go that route.
Oh, Jimmy Cefalo's attacking me on the show. I didn't know. I always say.
All I do is attack bad information.
Yeah, you know what I attack Jimmy Cefalo? Jerks! How dare he come on my show. Now, you've heard the news. Jamie Lynn Spears is knocked up. Now, Brittany, she was a bad seed. You knew that, and you thought, well, maybe she's just she's the black sheep of the family. Now it turns out that both of Lynn Spears' daughters are just rotten to the core. And she had a book that they were going to publish. They've taken it off the shelves. She's the worst mother of the year, but I think sum it up a little more simply than that. She's a jerk!
Shut up!
Yeah, there's Brittany. There she is. Anyway, you know what? I'm getting a little riled up here. Let me cool down here. Little mirth, little happy news. The Get Out of Jerk free card. That's right. Now, the Get Out of Jerk free card, for the uninitiated, this is very valuable. Because if you make a mistake in life, if you find your name on the jerk list one day, let me tell you something. The name Dave Dameshek's shown up on the jerk list. I know what it's about. What you do is, if you get the Get Out of Jerk free card, it's sort of like get out of prison, get out of jail free in Monopoly, except that this is really valuable. Now, you find your name on the jerk list. Hey, hold up, Dave. Don't shoot me with the solo blaster just yet. I got the Get Out of Jerk free card. And this one, it couldn't be more on the nose this week. You hear the music from Lord of the Rings. That's right. Just a couple of days ago, Peter Jackson, the man who directed the trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I hold so near and dear to my heart, right up there with my other favorite trilogy, Star Wars, the first three Star Wars, and Karate Kid, of course. And now Peter Jackson is signed on to be the executive producer of The Hobbit, a 2-part series. Oh, I'm over the moon. Peter Jackson and the Hobbit people, you get the Get Out of Jerk free card. Congratulations to you. Now back to the bad news. The Cowboys are imploding. T.O. attacked Tony Romo. He said he thinks Jessica Simpson is distracting him and is making him not play very well, so on and so forth. Chris Mortensen, who was with us earlier, said that he said it tongue-in-cheek, and so it should be taken that way. Either way, T.O. has a nasty track record, and he should really be more careful with his words. But it's not just him. There's also a little conflict. Roy Williams, the hard-hitting safety of the Cowboys, has a penalty, actually, a horse collar penalty that you can get suspended for in the NFL. Sure, you're familiar with that, grabbing the guy around the shirt collar and pulling him down by that. They actually came up with this penalty because Roy Williams tackles guys this way. Well, he's done it again, and now he's suspended. So they go to his teammate, wide receiver Patrick Crayton, to hear what he thinks about this. Listen to what the teammate Patrick Crayton has to say.
I think it's a good rule they put in. The rule's been put in place. It was put in place for Roy. So I think you would think if you get a rule put in place for you, you might pay attention to it a little bit.
This is your teammate? Patrick Crayton. Guess what? I got late news for you. You've just been traded from the Dallas Cowboys. You're now the newest member of the Jerks. Oh, here's a late addition, too. We were supposed to have Boomer Esiason on the show. Apparently, he had something better to do. Let me give you something in return for that. You're a jerk! All right, quickly, before we get to the creep of the week. I talked about this earlier. Bad coaches, guys who don't look out for their players, don't care about the fans, are springing up all over the world of football lately. Petrino, obviously you had Parcells today looking like he was going to the Falcons. Now it looks like the Dolphins, so on and so forth. But Herm Edwards, to me, seems like the most villainous of all coaches right now. The fans in KC are outraged. They're wearing bags on their heads, and rightly so. They've lost 7 in a row. They're not accustomed to losing all the time in Kansas City. This is a man who a couple of years ago had said, you play to win the game. And now, in response to people with bags on their heads and upset with their local team that they pay thousands of dollars to go and see them play on Sundays, this is what he says.
Get over it.
Get over it, he says. Try to get over this, Herm Edwards. You're a jerk!
Get over it.
That brings us to the creep of the week. Creep, creep, creep of the week, of the week. He or she is the creep of the week. Now, on Sunday I was watching the football games, and the Cowboys got upset by the Philadelphia Eagles. And in the waning moments of the game, Brian Westbrook, who happens to be a star member of my fantasy football team, the Kool Cats, spelled with K's. A lot of people don't like that name. Give me a little one here, Dick Banks. People who don't like the name Kool Cats are jerks. Anyway, a little detour there. Brian Westbrook, in the waning moments, he breaks free, can score a touchdown. This will salt away the victory for the Kool Cats, thereby putting me into the championship game against the Wussies. But he decides at the 1-yard line to take a knee. He falls down on the ball, jeopardizing my chances of moving on to the championship game. And then everybody, all the analysts on all the shows later that night say stuff like this.
Great decision by Mr. Unselfish Play, Mr. Brian Westbrook.
Unselfish? People keep saying, oh, he's so smart. It was a brilliant play because it ran out the clock. Yeah, you almost cost me. Thank goodness the Kool Cats are a strong lineup, and we barely squeaked by and advanced to the championship game. But Brian Westbrook, please, for the love of God, this is a big one. All the money's on the line. The title's on the line for the Kool Cats this week. Don't pull any of that hooey. Just to give you a little sense, listen, you can come back from this. Like I say, it's not the end of the world. Unselfish, some call you. Smart, others do. Today, I got to call you the Creep of the Week.
The Jerk List with Dave Dameshek reporting. Until next time, don't be a jerk.